Would you tell everyone what you're doing? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I've decided to share my thoughts on the TV show, actually the Netflix show Behind Her Eyes. I have so many thoughts on it, but I also don't really, because there's something very off about the show. When I was watching it, I just didn't really connect with it in any way. But before I get into any more detail, it's a thriller about a love triangle, and it involves the three characters, obviously, love triangle. Louise, David. So David's a psychiatrist, and Louise technically works for him as a secretary, and Adele, David's wife. Both the women are gorgeous, and with David, I think I went back and forth on whether he was really handsome and attractive, or there was just something about his character that I was into. And then there were times I'm just like, oh my god, shut up, like I don't like you. So I was all over the place with David, or rather that was just how his character was portrayed. So don't blame me, don't come at me, okay? There were times he was really cute and adorable and had a great smile. But so before starting the show, when I saw the word thriller and blah blah blah, I was thinking maybe it will be really dark and would really mess me up like you did. At first glance, especially in the beginning first few episodes, it's not all that dark or all that creepy, but they did try to kind of inject this dark depth to it that didn't really work. The show felt pretty shallow, and it just didn't grip people the way an insidious, dark, creepy thriller show should. So Netflix says that this show is mind-bending, ominous, and suspenseful. It's definitely suspenseful, and the only thing very ominous about it, in my opinion, is the background music and the subtitles that says ominous music playing. However, the show does get more insidious and darker around like the 5th and 6th episodes, really, and there are only 6 episodes, so it was very slow paced in the beginning. And even for like the beginning understanding of the show, it felt like things took forever to fall into place, and there were a lot of moving pieces that didn't really come together. However, at the end, things do fit in well and things do make sense, so to speak, but it's not that gripping. It doesn't keep you coming back and like craving for more, you know? Especially with a thriller and a suspenseful show, I feel like you should be dying to know more. But with this show, I was not really dying to know more. I think it's because it's easy to dismiss it with like the tropes that they try to use to keep the mystery well mysterious. And you're just like, oh, this is what it could be about, and then you just don't care as much about it, because a lot of the show is like back and forth whether David's like an abusive, controlling husband, or is Adele just a scheming, horrible person. Like, you keep going back and forth, and it just kind of gets old really quickly. And then Louise is just trapped in all of this, and constantly you feel like someone's using her as a pawn in their games, and yeah, it gets old pretty quick. So the show felt very shallow from the get-go. That might be just because of Netflix's formula of creating TV shows that just look pristine, clean, and completely unlived and unreal. Everything besides Louise's apartment in this show felt very unreal, and that didn't help. However, I think the shallowness of the show really comes from them trying to keep the mystery alive, but at the end it just kind of felt very detached. Maybe that was just leading into the theme of the show, but it just didn't sit right. And the weirdest thing about the show is that it's designed to be dramatic, and you do feel like it's dramatic, but it's also very low-key for the most part. All of the roller coaster of emotions and all of the frustrations, I feel like, has been reserved for the final episode and a half. That the rest of the show is just a constant build-up, which makes me think that the novel could have been adapted into a movie. It might have worked so much better within 2 hours as opposed to almost 6 hours. Okay, a little over 5 hours really, but it just had way too much time and way too little story to tell. All you needed was like the introduction and then maybe one of the middle episodes and then the final episode, and you're good to go, you're done. That is all that was needed to tell that story. It felt very dragged on, and the ending being as bonkers as it is, I don't know. If you don't binge it all like I did, I don't think you'd be particularly pleased with how the show ends. Because if you get yourself out of that headspace, it just won't be all that satisfying, I feel. However, I am curious to see how the show makes it, because it has such an outlandish ending that I really want to see how normal people respond to it. And especially if you like things that make sense, if you like things to be cohesive all throughout a show, a book, or a movie, or whatever, I definitely don't recommend this show for you, because you'll just be like, what the F just happened? Which is literally the hashtag for the show or the book, I don't remember, but it's WTF ending, so just so you know. Also, I felt a little bit deceived by the setup and the build-up of the show and then the ending. I like going into a show knowing what to expect. Am I going in for a soapy drama? Am I going in for some kind of murder mystery? Or am I going into a good comedy? Like, I want to know what I'm getting myself into. And with the show and how it was set up, the first 4 episodes, and then the complete 180 switch in kind of genre even, and the type of storytelling was very jarring. So I don't know, it might not be for everyone. Okay, now for spoilers. Seriously, if you haven't watched the show, definitely click off right now. My question is, how did Rob know how to handle Louise's hair? I mean, she easily has 3C or 4A curls. If I'm mistaken, let me know down below, but that is probably her curl pattern, and it's not easy to handle curly hair. Rob has been handling Adele's pretty easy to handle wavy hair for years. Plot holes. That's my biggest concern. And the other thing was, if this show was marketed as something paranormal, okay, I most likely wouldn't have watched it, but the ending would have made a lot more sense to me and it would have worked better. But it was just marketed as a suspenseful thriller, and I just didn't like feeling deceived by a TV show. Anyway, if you guys have already watched the show, do comment down below and let me know what you thought. And if you have any other TV shows that you would like me to watch, review, share my thoughts on, do comment down below, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Goodbye!